Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Friends, this morning the indices are looking pretty green. All three of the index futures are looking positive. Oil has gone down a little bit. Overall, it seems like things are going to be great today, but under these numbers, there are some other facts that we have to keep in mind that we don't get stuck. And one of the things I want to talk about, the fact that if you look at Dow Jones, right, it's still struggling to cross the resistance which we have at 43,294, and if it manages to cross that, then I could be optimistic about Dow Jones. If you go to S&P 500, again it's below this diagonal line of resistance, and it should have crossed 5,964 yesterday, but it got stuck at 5,937. So again, I can't be positive out here because it's in this wedge pattern. Next, we are looking at Russell's. Even though Russell's didn't perform too bad yesterday, it seems to be on either a consolidation mode or following I think I would call it a superior bear channel, and it's coming down along this line, and this earlier resistance has now become a support. So that's the way I look at it. Of course, Nasdaq is still range bound, and it did not manage to break through 21,402 yesterday. So despite all the positives that see this morning on the indices, I think the story of each of these indices is that they have not been able to break that resistance yesterday. Will they be able to do it today? Well, for that we look at the put-call ratio, which looks bullish at this point of time. So I think there is an intention to break it. If you look at VIX is still struggling to fall below this support of 15.88, and it has got a resistance out here at 18.16. So nothing has changed with regard to the VIX. It's still in the same area overall. So we don't have much clues to go by. And if we look at the breadth of trading, like S&P 500 stocks above 200-day average, that has been improving. So it shows a little bit of participation by in terms of breadth. If you look at S&P 500 stocks above 50-day average, that has also improved. So that's another positive to look at. And then these are the S&P 500 stocks above 20-day average. They are also looking almost static where they were earlier. So there is a little bit of improvement on the breadth side. But overall, I don't think we know anything definitive that can make us feel confident that we're going to be bullish today. If you look at Google, it's again in that channel that we have done. There is no breakthrough in Google as such. Pre-market, it's up 0.47. Tesla continues to move down this diagonal line of support of a previous bear channel, and right now they have managed to break through a resistance of 418.47 only to drop back down again. This morning they are up 0.65%. that takes them to 416.53, which is still below the 418.47, which is the resistance. Looking at the MACD and the momentum, it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to break through. Next, if we look at Apple, it's up 0.82%, but it has dropped significantly. Again, Apple is going to be hit by the Chinese market share loss and potential trade wars between US and China as soon as Trump takes the office. So I'm okay with this one, even though I believe the bullish case for Apple is that they are going to be one of the gateway for the common man to use AI, because Apple phones are one of the devices, one of the biggest set of devices where retail AI consumption will happen and where retail AI consumption revenue will originate, and that's a very big positive for Apple. But this China thing is going to be a problem for it in the short term, at least until Trump takes office and it becomes clear what he's planning to do with the tariffs and how China is going to retaliate. Next, let us look at Meta. It is still consolidating. It's in this thing, a megaphone structure. Not much difference. It's still consolidating. That's all. Amazon is on a downward channel. It's still not managed to break through yesterday 226.33, and today it has to break through 225.94 in order to go bullish. It's still making lower highs and lower lows, so that's not a great thing. Microsoft is up 0.31%. I think we heard news this morning that Microsoft is increasing the subscription fee for Microsoft 365 for the first time. Generally, when a company increases subscription, it's going to mean addition to the bottom line, therefore the share price should go up. But we have hardly seen a blip here. It's only 0.31% increase. One of the reasons for that is the strong US dollar, because the strong US dollar has reduced Microsoft revenues internationally. Well, the strong US dollar is contributing to a big part of Microsoft's problems. And I think that for foreign companies which are using Microsoft, the subscription fee becomes much higher. Therefore, further sales or further seats of Microsoft subscriptions are going to go down. Even for foreign individuals who are buying Microsoft subscription, it's going to be very expensive. I think in order to compensate for all of that, Microsoft is increasing the rates out here, which I feel will be counterproductive, because with a strong US dollar, it's going to only make selling Microsoft products much harder. But domestically, they can collect more from the US customer, and maybe that can kind of offset. I don't know what the distribution of market share is for Microsoft 365 between domestic and foreign buyers, but it doesn't seem like a positive move. However, Microsoft in the long term has got a lot of opportunities, because again, they are on the desktop of most retail consumers, and retail AI is going to go through them. Plus they have cloud assets, they have got AI assets as well. They're developing Copilot, which they are to enhance going forward to convert a lot of retail AI opportunities and use cases. So I think Microsoft has got great potential, but right now, rightly so, everybody is consolidating out here and waiting and watching. So I bet that if you went to a larger time scale, this would look like a doji candle. Indecision. Nvidia is up 0.91%. I think Nvidia has got a lot of prospects to go up further. Unfortunately, it broke through this diagonal line of resistance at around 136.89 only to come back down. So it needs to break through this. It has created a new resistance at a support of 135.82. So I'm going to change the color of that support into a resistance. It has to break through all this. So it's very much possible that we are traveling on a bear channel on the way down, with the support being the resistance of the previous bear channel. Maybe we'll get better opportunities to buy Nvidia. The long-term story is intact. If you look at TSM's earning, it's projected a 20% increase in its earnings, and I think that should bode well for Nvidia, which is one of its biggest customers. So overall, if you take that data point and also the fact that Microsoft is earmarking a lot of money for AI infrastructure, and so is Google and Meta, I think that we'll see Nvidia pick up significantly. If it comes anywhere close to around 130, that's a good buy opportunity. Then if it by any chance, if it happens to come as low as 127, I would be loading up. That's my personal opinion, not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence on that. I think apart from that, I have nothing more to say here except to look at Rigetti. Rigetti is still above the support line at 9.86. Pre-market, it's down 4.72% and it's at 10.71. We'll see what happens when the market opens. I think Rigetti doesn't look that great. But one data point which gives me a lot of optimism is the drop in the 10-year yields. And you can see the 10-year yield has come down for almost 3 sessions now. And if I was to take a measuring widget and look at how much it has dropped 4.38% overall. So that's a significant drop. That should give a little bit of positive to the market. And if I look at the MACD and the momentum has got to fall below average for it to do the magic. But right now things are moving in the right direction with the 10-year yields. So I'm thinking that things should start looking good for the market. But overall, when you put all the plus and minus factors together and have a look at it, the US dollar index starts to be a spoiler. So here's the US dollar index, and you will see that the US dollar index, after being down for a couple of days, has started moving up again. And if you look at the channel that I have drawn here, this is a bull channel on which we have the US dollar sitting. If it falls down below this, then we could have some hope. MACD is bearish. Momentum is picking up though. We'll have to see how US dollar ends today. If it continues falling, then I think we could see some positives for the share market. But if it continues going up, it would mean that the revenues, international revenues of most American companies are going to be under a lot of strain, and our upcoming earnings also would make a lot of difference. The banks have shown magic and they have shown greater revenue potential, but we have to see the same from our Mag 7 companies, and also their future outlook is going to make a lot of difference. So if there is any improvement in their future outlook, that could spur the market. So that's where we are, my friends, and I'd like to end this video here, and I'll catch up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.